Hey everybody, it's Chris Eads, known online as Wootini, here with another Gay Gamer video podcast. I just want to start off with a couple movie reviews. First, as promised last episode, I did go see Avengers Endgame in IMAX 3D, and it was amazing. Again. The big screen, the 3D, fantastic. I will say that I still cried. There's just certain moments in the climactic battle of the film that just touch my nerd heart, and I cry happy nerd tears. I did not ugly cry at the very end, like I did the first time, because this time I knew it was coming, so I was able to prepare myself mentally, and I got a little choked up, but I stayed composed, so the lights came up and I was okay. Also, the second time through, the early section of the movie that I complained about in the last episode, where I said, ugh, it's all character-based drama and it's tedious. I'm not tedious, but I mean, it passed a lot quicker this time. Like, all of a sudden we were back into the adventure and the action, and I said, oh, it just seemed to go a lot faster the second time around. So I think it's kind of like Jurassic Park. The first time I saw Jurassic Park, I thought the beginning of Jurassic Park was so boring. I was like, just get to the dinosaurs. And then the second and third, fourth, fifth, sixth, 100th time I saw it like 10 times in the theaters. It's absurd. But the subsequent viewings, knowing that we were going to get through it and we'd get to the dinosaurs, I was like, okay. And somehow it passed quicker. So the same thing with this. Avengers got better the second time around, actually. And the 3D was great. It just added so much to the action sequences and such, and then even the quiet moments with the character-based drama, it created some visual depth and, you know, brought you into the scene, and it just made it all more real, and it was lovely. And it was good 3D too. The errors, I did notice a few errors at the very end. Not the climax, because there's a lot going on. You can't really notice anything. Also, it's mostly CGI, so that should be fine. The epilogue part at the very end of the film, there were a few bits where I was like, oh, that doesn't look good, and that's not quite right. They just didn't seem to maybe that was like a different house that did that 3D, not the beginning 3D, and they weren't as good. And in fact, it's okay. It's just there's one moment, there's a very emotional character moment that's kind of ruined because I was distracted by the fact that this character's nose, they didn't put the edge right along the bridge of their nose. There's a little sliver of background that's actually on the bridge of her nose that is just not, and so this emotional moment that I loved in the first viewing, when I saw it in 3D, that emotional moment was slightly ruined because I'm like, oh, they messed up the nose. That's distracting. But overall, it's great. And then this week, I went to see Detective Pikachu, which weirdly is called Pokemon Detective Pikachu. And in the opening credits of the film, it actually says Pokemon Detective Pikachu, and it's just weird. I won't call it that. It's just Detective Pikachu. I found it quite delightful, actually. I know it's been getting mixed reviews here and there. Obviously, I feel like if you're a Pokemon fan, you're probably going to love it. Unless you're like a really huge Pokemon fan, in which case you might think they did everything wrong. I don't know. I'm not that big of a Pokemon fan. I'm an old school Pokemon fan, so I only played like the original games. So I know the original Pokemon. So all the new Pokemon, I'm just like, I don't know what I'm looking at. So like they would have these scenes where there's all these Pokemons like walking around, and I was just like, oh look, it's a Squirtle. And a Psyduck is a major character in the film, which I love because Psyduck is one of my favorite Pokemons. So good. And then there's like other characters like the Grey Ninja that are prominently featured in the trailers and stuff, and they're actually very important to the film, and I'm just like, I don't know who that is. I don't know that one. I don't know. But it's an enjoyable film. I found it quite entertaining. At the end, there's a big reveal, and I'm like, oh, I should have seen that coming. But I guess I wasn't thinking, oh, this is a mystery, and can I solve this mystery? I was just like, oh, whatever, it's just a fun adventure movie with Pokemon. Like, I wasn't thinking, oh, should I try to solve this mystery? And I'm not even sure you can actually solve the mystery, because they don't actually give you the right clues in the beginning. They don't come until the end, but I don't know. I'm sure if I showed it to my husband, he'd figure it out in the first 5 minutes, because that's what happens every time I try to show him any kind of mystery movie. I'm like, oh, this is a really good movie. I'm going to make you watch it. And he'll sit and watch it, and 5 minutes in, he's like, oh, this is that, and that's that. And I'm like, damn it, let's just turn it off then. It's very frustrating. I did see this one in 3D, and the 3D was good, but it could have been better. It wasn't as bad as The Missing Link, where it was practically flat. This one had some really good depth, and there was actually some good pop-outs with some Pokemon action and stuff flying at the camera and debris and things. But there were other shots where, like, you know, Mewtwo is, like, pointing or gesturing out into the camera like this, and it just sort of sits there, and, like, that's the camera, and everything recedes into the background. And I'm like, no, that's where you can push it out into, like, this is the screen, push it out of the screen at the viewers. That's what 3D's for. Immerse them in it. So I just felt like they did a good job with the 3D, but they could have done a little better, because it was clearly shot with some 3D angles in mind, so it would have been a little better if they just pushed it out of the screen a little more here and there. Oh, also, when I went to AMC, they gave me this pack of Pokemon trading cards. Well, I think it's just a trading card, which I haven't even opened, because I don't play the Pokemon trading card game. And in fact, I can't even open the cards. They don't even open. Sorry, it's not mint. Oh, there's a bunch of cards. Oh, no. There's some ads, and then there's 2 Pokemon cards. Oh, it's Psyduck and Detective Pikachu. Well, that's appropriate, I guess. They're probably giving away the same one to everybody. Unfortunately, I don't actually... I do like Psyduck, but I don't actually play the Pokemon card game, so... I'm sure I must know somebody who does, who might actually want those. If not, maybe there's like a kid on the block in the neighborhood that plays Pokemon cards and would want those. I don't know. But if you like Pokemon, go see it, because it's super fun. I even wore my favorite Pokemon shirt to go see it. I love this shirt. Got it at PAX years ago. We'll never throw it away. As for gaming, I've been playing the same games. The Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I am obsessed with. It's weird. I play it every night. I sit down and I'll do like whatever missions I can do, whatever side stuff I could do, like kill a bunch of people and just do something. But it's weird because, like, I keep doing missions and I keep leveling up, but I don't feel like I'm advancing the story at all. And it's very interesting to me because usually this is the type of game that I lose interest in. But I'm not quite sure why that's happening. Maybe the gameplay of, like, exploring and killing people and taking in the scenic Grecian sites is appealing enough that it's making me not want to give up on it. But it's weird because this is sort of like how Rockstar games usually are, where, like Grand Theft Auto, where you start the story, you do some story missions, and then you just, once you've opened up the whole thing and then you can explore places, you just get lost exploring and doing random things, and then you forget that there's even a story to do, and so you don't care about it, and then you just sort of go, now I'm bored, and you turn it off and go play something else. Which is why I was so surprised that Red Dead Redemption 2 remained so story-focused, even though it was a huge world with a lot to do. Like, if you got too bogged down with side quests, it would send a supporting character out and say, hey, do you want to come back to camp and, like, maybe do a story mission? And I appreciated that. It was a very clever way of the game to try to keep you on track. But also, I felt like it kept you playing because it gave you, like, here's the story missions, and there's a couple side missions, you would do those, but then you would end up, it wouldn't give you more side missions until you had done another story mission. And that kept you moving through the story much in the closely in the same way that, like, the Mass Effect games do. Those are my, like, gold standard for, like, giving you a solid through-line story that you are engaged in throughout, but enough side quests that it doesn't go by too quickly. And you can do side things, and you feel like you're exploring and doing your own thing in addition to the main game. But Odyssey is like random. Like once I started exploring, like I don't feel like I've done a story mission in like ages. Like I'm going to islands, like somebody was like, oh hey, can you take me to Mykonos? And I'm like, yeah, when I'm finished here. And I finished whatever I was doing, and then I'm like, okay, now I'll take you to Mykonos. Which then I found there's a rebellion, and they want to kill the leader, and they needed some help, and of course I was happy to help them destroy everything and kill the leader, whatever, it's fine. But it's weird because none of that felt like it advanced the main story. I can't remember the last mission I did that advanced the story. So I'm very curious as to, I can't quite put my finger on why this game is still so entertaining and fun to play, and why I'm still totally into it, and there's no real story. It's weird. Because usually I need a story to keep me engaged. But I'm befuddled. Maybe there's like subliminal messages that hypnotized me into liking the game, I don't know. But I'm pretty sure that I will be talking more about it next week, because I can't stop playing it. So, find out next episode, who knows. See you then, bye!